Today on the Montreal Jewish Magazine, we have the Montreal Jewish Magazine. Let's explain. We have a program that I do with that name, and we have a very popular magazine. Directory was a former word, called the Montreal Jewish Magazine, and the head honcho behind that is Harriet Szabo, who's here again. For how many times have we talked this? Half a dozen at least over the years?
Oh, for many, many years.
Yeah. But you've been on for more, your magazine's been more than we've been on.
Well, 23 years.
23 years. No,
23 years. I want to thank you very much for inviting me on your show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I look forward to the issue, which will be out around the time this program is broadcast.
That's right.
And all over the city and beyond?
All over the city and beyond.
Yeah.
Free door-to-door by mezuzah. And we have drop-offs, all the listings in my magazine, all the kosher places, the schools, the libraries, the synagogues, and so on.
Yeah, I've seen them there. And those of you who don't have mezuzahs, go and get one quickly so you can get the copy of the magazine.
If for some reason you may not have gotten it at your door, you'll find it everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can call us at 514-737-7448.
So this is now the 23rd year, but actually you out more than once a year.
We come out twice a year, every 6 months. We used to come out before the holidays, but we found that we got the highest readership was the time that
right after the holidays apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your reason for that? People are a little more relaxed after the holidays.
People had more time to read it, and they weren't so rushed because of the holidays.
Mm-hmm. So the current issue, as we record this, will be out shortly after the whole collection of holidays we had through the month of October.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And people said they enjoyed reading it after the magazine, when the magazine came out after the holidays, because they had more time to enjoy the magazine. And, of course, we realized that the readership was much higher at that point.
And it's more than a magazine. I think, could it be fair to call it a sort of reference tool?
Absolutely, and also networking. We do a lot of networking with the magazine. It's basically a magazine of where to go and what to do and what's available in the Jewish community. Touching base with the Jewish people, with the agencies and organizations, with the charity events, and so on.
Well, the Jewish community is still alive and well because your magazine's alive and well.
Yeah, and it's doing well. Can't complain.
Yeah. Do you have, or do you want to give a circulation figure, or not necessary?
Well, it's over 95,000 Jewish readers.
Right? Okay, right. And people who are, say, a little bit beyond the city, because we can be heard, in places a little bit further than Montreal.
Well, we've had our magazines going to Toronto, Quebec City, Ottawa.
That's what I thought.
Our magazine is distributed from Brossard right up to Hudson. We have drop-offs everywhere.
Okay, I mean, I know that our station is on the internet, so somebody who's listening in Bangladesh at this moment might be out of luck. But otherwise, it's available near Montreal. So anything new and special and exciting for this 23rd year?
Well, what's new and exciting is the MJM Online, which is an offshoot of the Montreal Jewish
The entire
Magazine.
text online?
We have it online on the Montreal Jewish Magazine, but it took on its own form of calling it MJM Online now.
So is it a little different? It has additional material?
It's a lot more information online. The magazine, of course, is always online. The advertisers can advertise there as well.
It looks like online is almost taking over the world of publishing.
It already has. It already has.
And you realize that, which is why you went into the online part of it.
Well, we started quite a few years back, and my son Ronnie took over the website, and he now owns the website, so he's able to continue.
What additional material will people find online? Too many things to go into in this short time?
That's right.
So can you give us a website that people will be able to find it?
Right now it's still called MontrealJewishMagazine.com.
.com, okay. And that people
or
will be able
info@MontrealJewishMagazine.com.
Okay, either way it'll get you to there.
Right.
Now, you probably have a readership that would you be able to give a sort of general age group? Is it the heads of household who are looking for things, that sort of thing?
I'll tell you, when we do our initial drop-off distribution, we go to the universities, we go to Hillel. That's young. We have all ages.
Good to you got a young age.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All ages.
You have a couple of interesting-looking guys on your front cover.
Yeah. We started promoting the young entrepreneurs in our community, and it's been going very well. People love it.
Mm-hmm. And if I can read their names, there's Sean, is it? Toblin?
That's right.
And Rob Gold.
Right.
And if you want to know more about them, you'll find them on the cover and I suppose inside the text as well.
But right now we're online with the magazine, so anybody
can go right to it, as we say.
Can go right to it and just flip the pages. Everything's there.
Now, you sort of look ahead to other Jewish holidays between now and next spring, so there are things that will lead you to those.
I have all the holidays that are upcoming until next spring. They're all in my magazine with pictures and explanations about the holidays and what to serve, what type of food is eaten. It's very interesting.
Food, yeah, that's one of the things that always attracts me to your magazine. Restaurants, food, recipes. There'll probably be some of that around.
We have the listings of all the kosher restaurants. We also have menus. We also have menus of different cookbooks and recipes. So we have 2 pages of that. We have, of course, we have Mike Cohen's travel section.
Mike gets around. I see him in every newspaper, every magazine. He's a busy guy.
That's
and he still has time to do his regular work, of course.
Right.
And so I've noticed he's traveling to more. He told me when I met him recently, whether it's in your magazine or not, I don't know, but he spent quite a lot of traveling time in Europe this year.
Yes, he went to France, and very interesting.
Looking for
story
Jewish
to read
things.
It. Very interesting story to read.
Yeah. And in his trips, the ones that he did this year that he's reported on for your magazine, I think he tried to find things Jewish wherever he could, which would be one of his reasons for going. So you have the local entrepreneurs on the cover. You have Mike somewhere in the magazine. I guess he's still young. He could be called a young entrepreneur. Certainly, compared to me, he's young. And any other very specific things that you want people to look out for? I know you don't want to go into page by page because they'll look up the magazine and find out. But take a look at the table of contents and find me something special.
This issue, we do have our regular Jewish jokes, business buzz, talking about
jokes are all clean, right?
Pardon me?
Jokes are all clean.
They're all clean.
Good.
And then we have the 50-plus community with the Jewish traditions. What is a Jewish birthday? The ABCs of kosher. Then we have friendship and Jewish thought. The I Love Yiddish series. Then we have the volunteers of the Beth Tikva congregation. We also have a journey of a rock star. The Soul Doctor that we covered.
Oh, that was a show that was at Siegel Center last summer.
Amazing.
Rabbi Karlbach.
That's right.
We had the person who played the lead in that come here to the studio.
I remember. Then we have Jewish services of the Bat Shah Youth and Family Services, the Jewish Way of Inheritance and Wills, a public curator, Adventures in Travel, Jewish Clothing, Personal Appearances, a milestone that were covered for the Jewish Public Library of 100 years. And then, of course, we have the holidays about the Sukkot,
the standard
Torah,
holiday
Hanukkah,
material,
Purim, Passover, and whatever all other holidays there are.
Let me ask you a sort of general question based on the research you do in putting this magazine together and the kind of press we get here in Montreal over the years. Are you optimistic about the future of the Jewish community in Montreal?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's growing every day.
Mm-hmm. There's currently about 85,000, I think.
95,000.
Oh, it's gone up. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they all read your magazine.
Well, we've had a lot of people from France that have come into Montreal.
There is an
influx. There was an article in the Canadian Jewish News just the other day about that. That we're seeing an unusual amount of people from France coming in because of the economy in France.
And your magazine is, I don't think you're allowed to put an adjective before the word unique. So I can't say very unique or especially unique. We'll just say unique because I've traveled and I don't think I've seen too much in the way of similar ones, or maybe you know of some.
Our magazine is a unique magazine because, number one, it's a real Yiddishkeit magazine. Mm-hmm. You won't find this type of magazine anywhere. And
how do you define Yiddishkeit in the terms of your magazine?
Jewish content.
Not Jewish necessarily content. Only religious Jewish content.
No, we're not a religious magazine.
Right.
We're not a political magazine. We're a real Jewish magazine where you'll see the words of Yiddish expression in there. You'll see Yiddish thought in there. Whatever's going on in the Jewish community.
And because you have a fairly large religious community in Montreal, around Outremont and Snowden, that means that the whole kosher world is alive and well in the city.
We have a whole section of a kosher section.
Mm-hmm. Restaurants and others as well.
It's listings of restaurants, bakeries, caterers, even where you can order your kippas for your private events.
Now, I know when I get my copy, I put it up on a shelf where it sort of stays there for reference, almost like an encyclopedia, until your next issue comes out. Do a lot of people do that, I hope?
Yes, most people will keep it in their office and they'll keep it in their house. Some people, I've seen them keep it even in their car.
Yeah, I guess so.
When they wanted to find something quickly.
Yeah, I imagine it's the sort of thing you put in your glove compartment if somebody says...
You can carry it around in your purse, in your pocket.
And it runs about, 110, 120 pages or so each issue?
It's 112 plus covers.
112 plus covers, okay. Yeah. So that's about par for what you have each year. And what particularly interests me, because of my age, is what do you do, as it says in your magazine, what to do, where to go for people in, up to maybe including my age group. Does that mean that you have a very very spirited readership of that age group? I think?
We do have. We have a very strong readership. We call it the hub of the Jewish community, which is the 50 plus. We have a whole section on that, where to go and what to do for seniors.
It's a long time since I hit 50, so I know in my age I still find things to see in your magazine, and I'm sure there are 90-year-olds who read it as well.
There's a lot going on in the city, and the Cummings Center, which has a lot of programs, and you can find them in my Jewish magazine.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have I guess one thing about the Jewish community in Montreal that's maybe not unique, but is certainly important, is there is a lot of sort of organizational Jewishness in the city, and I think you deal with that as well. So
we provide the listings of agencies and organizations, all the Chabad centers, even Federation CJA. We provide important phone numbers, the phone numbers of the city halls. So that's very important in our magazine. We even have a new section called Lucy's List of Animal Shelters.
That's interesting.
Which we started doing about 2 years ago.
There are Jewish animal owners, I can see.
If anyone has a pet and they need to get information, they'll find it on page 68.
Yeah, we have an example right here you brought in with you. She's nice and quiet. Congratulations.
Yeah. Daisy goes everywhere with
What's her name?
Her name is Daisy.
How do you spell that?
Daisy.
Oh, Daisy. Okay, like in the old little Abner comic strip.
She just turned 5 years old last week.
Oh, wow. And she's very quiet.
And she's a great little dog.
Okay.
And we have a section called Books and DVDs
from the library.
Jewish Public Library. Yeah. And, of course, the Jewish calendar. And even listings of the ski hills. Kids Corner. Okay. How to light the Shabbos candles.
Oh, yeah,
and, of course, the famous how to put on a mezuzah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a brief break now so they can insert some messages. And when we come back, I'm going to say the magic word bagel. And I think you may have something to say about that. We'll be right back. I'm back on the Montreal Jewish Magazine with the publisher and editor of the Montreal Jewish Magazine. I keep saying that so as not to get confused. And welcome for the umpteenth time again, Harriet Szabo, and the magic word is bagel.
Joe Schwartz wrote a very interesting article on bagels. I'm hoping that everybody will read it because it's really a great article, and I love the way he writes his stories, and they're very interesting.
That's the famous Dr. Joe Schwartz of radio
Dr.
fame.
Joe Schwartz,
newspaper fame, great.
Yeah.
And I do know that there is sort of a semi-official word in the Office de la langue française for a bagel, but nobody ever uses it. It's called une benne juif, a Jewish donut. That did not come up in your discussion, did it? I hope not.
Our Jewish community in Montreal is very famous for their food, as we all know that.
Bagels especially.
Nowhere in the world are you going to be able to get a smoked meat or a bagel or knishes or challah bread like they have it here in Montreal.
Well, there are people in Toronto who say, yeah, we got it too.
Not like Montreal.
However, I must say New York has everything too.
Not
even like Montreal. Still not Montreal.
Not like Montreal.
I know it doesn't have a magazine like yours in New York. Not that I know.
Nobody has. First of all, nobody has a magazine like mine.
Yeah, right.
Nobody has the food like we have in Montreal. Our city is still the best.
Okay, and you're here to prove it with your magazine, 23 Years Young. You go out to the Laurentians.
We go into
because that tells me that there's still or was and remains or will be a strong Jewish community in some of the towns.
I just wanted to mention the Hotel Chanticleer has always catered to the Jewish community.
Which town is that in?
That's just after Saint-Sever.
Saint-Sever, okay.
And they've always, it's great ski hill, great hotel.
Are there year-round
nice
Jewish residents in those towns?
All around that area. Not only that, when they have a private event or wedding, people love to do it at their hotel. I would suggest you check it out because they've been strong supporters of our Jewish community, and we need to support the Chanticleer.
And of course, other than that, there are other in and around the towns. There are other places I'm sure that the Jewish community will frequent. Recently, I heard an ad on the station. I don't remember the person's name, and I'm not going to say it anyway. For a mohel, and now, lo and behold, you got a section of mohels.
We have a section of mohels.
There used to be just one when I was a child. I won't say who he was, but now there must be half a dozen or so.
At least.
And some of them advertise in your magazine, I think.
We've had people email us even from the Caribbean islands. They were doing a bar mitzvah and they needed kippas.
Oh, and they checked it out here.
And we sent it out to them, the list of the places to order kippas.
Yeah, so you're value to people way beyond Montreal.
Absolutely, all over the world.
So I mentioned Bangladesh at the beginning of our program. So if there's a bar mitzvah in Bangladesh, they can look you up.
Our website, anybody who wants to tap on our website, which is the MontrealJewishMagazine.com.
All around the world, right.
They do that from all over the world, and we do get a lot of emails.
Can you see in the future that your web page will completely replace your printed page, or that will never happen?
I think at one point it will. Absolutely.
And it won't bother you because it's
not at all. We have to move on with the times, and we have to give the readers what they want.
And at this point, you would say that the web page is important to.
Very important. It's our new beginning of the way people want to read. And
they read anywhere. You can't believe some of the places I've seen people reading iPads and such.
When I want to read the Gazette and I don't have the newspaper with me, I just go online and I read the Gazette. And if I want to read other newspapers or magazines, I have it online too. So if I don't have the print form, which I do love print form as well, but when I don't have it, then I can read it online as well.
I still prefer to read your magazine in hard copy so I can touch the pages.
Nothing beats renting something.
And besides, it's in color. Mind, are the pages in your web page in color too?
They're gorgeous colors.
The color works.
They're glossy coated paper, very professional.
No, I'm talking about the web pages.
The web pages, of course, they're all in color. Sure.
Okay.
They're all in color. I wanted to mention also, if somebody has flyers or they want to deliver something door to door, my son Ben Grauer, he owns he owns a media source, and you'll find him on my inside cover as well. If anybody has a need to distribute any kind of flyers or magazines.
Okay, well, they can get in touch with him. And I know there's a lot of that goes on in the city. I get lots of it every week.
It's very big, and he does extremely well, even doing the delivery of my magazine as well. So if you want to get in touch with him at 514-884-3600, 3047 Benny Grauer.
Oy
I have
vey,
to do
a
that
commercial.
because he's my son. I have
That's
to promote
okay.
him too.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So to reiterate, because I think you had a very busy day and you've got to rush off somewhere. So we've been talking to Harriet Szabo, publisher, editor of the Montreal Jewish Magazine. We have a phone number for you. Might as well give that one.
514-737-7448. And for our online magazine, it's MontrealJewishMagazine.com.
And by the time we play this recorded program, which will be Wednesday the 22nd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon this week, will many of our listeners have the copy in hand?
It's going to take 8 days of delivery because it goes into 14 areas of the city.
Mm-hmm. But some will have it by Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely.
And it'll do the copies that go out to organizations like and synagogues and and libraries, do they go out at the beginning or at the end of your run?
They go as soon as we go. We finish one area. It goes
by geographic
it
neighborhood.
goes by areas, and as soon as the delivery is done in one particular area, at the very end of that delivery of that area, then we go into the supermarkets, we go into the synagogues and so on, because we don't want people picking up two books at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Yeah, so I imagine that I won't mention names of places, but some of the well-known supermarkets and such in town will have them by later next week.
Most all of the supermarkets will have
the local libraries, Côte St. Claude Jewish Library and such.
And the pharmacies, the coffee shops, the bakeries, you'll find them everywhere. And 22 medical buildings, by the way, every office. So while you're waiting for a doctor or a lawyer, or dentists, you'll be able to pick up a copy, and also hair salons. A lot of the hair salons get them as well.
That's a good place. That's a time when people have a few moments to read.
That's right.
And when someone is sitting in a doctor's office waiting to get some advice on losing weight, they get your magazine and they read up on all the kosher restaurants.
Right.
Counterproductive, but that's okay.
Right.
That's not bad. Well, I will let you and your little friend move on to your next rounds, and this is being broadcast on Wednesdays. Coming up at, today, the broadcast day, as far as the listeners are concerned, is Wednesday, although we recorded it a couple of days earlier. And Yasher Koyach with the magazine. We'll hear from you again when? Spring?
In the spring. And I want to thank all my readers for giving me a wonderful 23-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. What are you going to do special for 25?
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Being a big party at the Forum or something?
I have something very special.
Justin Bieber singing? No, not really. I hope not. Can't stand him. Well, you'll get something, I'm sure. I look forward to it. Well, thanks very much, Harriet Szabo, for joining us. And we will be broadcasting this, as we say, Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
Thank you.
Bye.